Hey everyone, I'm back with Joe Stepongzi, aka Bearded Hardware. He is basically a pro overclocker. He's the best one we could get.
Wow.
And
That sums it up.
we're doing a couple live streams this weekend. So mostly Joe will be overclocking Ryzen. So we've got a 2700X, and that'll be on Saturday at 1 p.m. and then on Eastern Standard Time. Then on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing a Kingpin 2080 Ti overclock.
No, that should be fun.
That should be pretty sweet. So you'll want to see both, because the 2700X, we had nonstop requests from you all to do Ryzen overclocking. So we're finally coming back to do it. Don't let me down. Make sure you're there to watch the stream, because if you
better be there.
If you let me down, we're never listening to the comments again. So those will be the stream dates. Today we're setting up the systems, and like I said, Joe's going to do most of the work on this one, so I'm not even going to pretend.
Like usual.
Before that, this video is brought to you by Corsair's Iron Claw RGB wireless gaming mouse. The Corsair Iron Claw focuses first on comfort with its palm grip approach, and also uses a sub 1 millisecond wireless connection for the PC. You can toggle between wireless and Bluetooth connectivity, making it easy to control multiple PCs with one mouse, like a streaming PC and a gaming PC. The mouse has 10 programmable buttons, the PMW3391 18,000 DPI sensor, 3-zone RGB LEDs, and 50 million click lifespan for left and right mouse buttons. Learn more at the link in the description below. So, where do we start? For the Kingpin card, I'll take the Kingpin card apart and prep it for, it needs Vaseline, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have Vaseline?
Nope.
Oh, see? I gotta do everything as usual.
And Joe's got a motherboard. Actually, I bought that board. That's the Crosshair 7, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Crosshair 7.
Okay.
It's the newer version.
Yeah, so what do we've got stuff on it right now. We'll start here, and then we'll walk back later and walk through some of these initial steps. So right now there's an LN2 pot on it already. This will have to come off a little bit later to do some testing on a second CPU, I think.
Well,
right?
we have 3, don't we?
We have 3.
Yeah.
We have the Lisa Sue signed 2700X. And this one I'm excited for, because if we do test it, I think I want to lap it. So anyway, we've got that one. Joe's got 2. Where are you on air with this thing when you overclock with air?
This one's probably about 4.33, something around there. Then
okay.
It just dies off after that.
Okay, yeah. 4.33 gigahertz. Do you know what voltage you were at?
It depends on the LLC I set. So the load line, I think is at 3, and then it's about, I think 1.43, I think.
Okay. And that's with an AIO, with a closed loop liquid cooler?
Yeah, souped up by AIO. If you look on my channel, the AIO I did on there.
For the stream, we will have LN2. So this time I got 2 tanks. There's this one, the inner tank we think might be...
I don't know, it's kind of shaking.
A little bit more than usual.
What Steve doesn't want to tell you is actually I got mad at him earlier because I do everything and I broke the tank.
Yeah, he threw it. It hurt.
Disclaimer, I didn't really throw it.
This one's a fat. I think they call it a fat 180 or something, or a fat 80. So it's the same amount of LN2 in each one, but we'll be using those during the stream and today for prep. And then we've got the doer back here.
You need a new name.
So,
call it Fatty. We got the Fatty.
So this is a
don't hurt yourself.
30-liter doer that I think you've already filled.
Yeah. Come on, pick it up, Steve.
Yep. Joe's filled it already.
Yeah, smell. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
What's the LN2 pot you got on there?
T-Rex.
Okay.
Kingpin.
So Kingpin pot.
Yeah. It's an early version before the new public version, but it's a nice pot. I like it.
And that's hooked up to your thermocouple reader.
Yeah, my Fluke.
Yeah, and we can show more of this as it gets used too. But the point of that, I guess, is to show where is that? Is that jammed under between the IHS and the LN2 pot?
It's in the LN2 pot,
okay.
But it's pretty much the way it's drilled in is pretty close, so it gives a really good reading. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. I guess I'll go grab the Kingpin card and start taking that apart right here, and then you do whatever you need to do, because
you need to do something.
Because yeah. Should we do the liquid nitrogen safety notes again? I guess let's talk about it a little bit again, just so people understand the risks and the lack of risks where they apply. So
lack of risks?
let's
like wearing sandals?
Yeah. So let's do the first one. When you get it on your hands, it's not so bad.
No, let's see.
And I've done this too.
It's the soaking effect. So it's like kind of water. If you get soaked, that's gonna hurt. But if you do like a graze, it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, it'll stain a little bit, but it's not like painful though.
No, it's just like a little tingle.
Right.
Like I mean, it can maybe sometimes a pinch, but
right.
I've had people like close their hands and stuff, and that's when it'll actually hurt.
Right.
I had a lady do that at Computex one time. I'm like, no, don't do it. And yeah, she complained about it. I was like,
yeah.
Never
so
good.
We talked about this last time too, but it's worth going over again though. The soaking is the concern, right? So like if you get it in your socks or something.
Yeah, socks are usually a bad thing.
Yeah. But beyond that, it's not so bad when you pour. And then also with the LN2 canister, have to be a little careful with the transfer hose on there. So.
Yeah, when you're filling up the tank, you want to make sure you hold the hose because it builds up pressure eventually. And if you just release the valve, it could just go up and smack you in the face or go hit somebody. Or
shatter a glass door.
Or shatter a glass door like at the Gigabyte OC. We won't talk about that.
So this, let me go through some of the costs too for those of you who didn't catch the last one. This transfer hose, I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was like $300 or $280, or it was between like high 200s and $400, which I think is about what you paid for yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, prices haven't changed.
No, it's still expensive.
So yeah, that's transfer hose. I guess they're expensive because they're rated for LN2.
Well, they are heavy duty.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pretty much beat you over the head with it. And be...
That's encouraging.
Oh, just saying.
Yeah, and then LN2 itself, off the top of my head, I think it's minus 196 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So the tanks they're pressurized. This is a 22 PSI tank that I ordered. You can get higher PSI, you can get medical grade if you needed it.
Yeah, if you ever get it, it's considered, I don't know, you can basically say low pressure tank, because then they have a high pressure. I forget what it runs at, but you don't want a high pressure one. That's when you really got to be careful with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the concern is that
the swing.
Yeah. So it's like $440 for both, just to give you an idea on cost. Cheaper than last time, not bad actually. So that's the tanks, 180 liters in each one, and this should last us the whole weekend, hopefully. So if it doesn't leak.
Depends on how much fun we have.
Yeah. I guess I'll note that too. So do you want to explain the pressure release and like when you hear the hiss versus when you shouldn't hear the hiss?
Well, anytime you're moving a tank, it builds up pressure. So if you hear this, there's a valve that goes, I think
yeah, it's that one.
So if you're moving the tank, you hear the hiss. Yeah, so usually when that's blowing off, that's not good. So a lot of times we'll just tap it with a hammer a little bit, just kind of, because they can freeze after a while. So if they're shooting out for a while, you gotta figure it's really cold, so it'll kind of get stuck. So sometimes if you hit a hammer, it'll basically stop.
It'll like freeze that valve open.
Yeah, and it will just keep on shooting out, and you'll lose all your liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Like we did last time.
Yeah, and the delivery guy did that too. First thing he did when he got off the truck was bash it with a wrench. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta beat something.
Is that gonna be on your next shirt?
What?
Joe Stepongzi. Sometimes you just gotta beat something. All
right,
what are you gonna do first?
We're gonna play with the AMD stuff.
Should I fill these?
I think I'm scared for it. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess we should clarify that too. So setup here, what we're really doing is just seeing kind of where we're gonna stand for the stream, and then in the stream we'll push it.
Yeah, this is more to just see how the chip runs.
And to make sure everything's working.
Yeah.
There's some KP paste on here, and there's, it's like he's a frickin' fairy. He just like sprinkles it. That's how you know if Vince was somewhere.
Well, if you use that blue paste enough, it ends up everywhere.
So this card was pre-tested then, which means if we don't hit the clocks that Vince knows it can hit.
Yeah, then he's gonna yell at me.
He's gonna yell at you.
So we're gonna have to heat up the pot.
So what is it specifically that told you it's an issue with being too cold and not something else.
Because when it got cold, it just stopped.
Yeah. What was it, like minus 190 or something?
I think it was like 180 something.
Okay.
This wasn't the one, this was a profile I did before I came up with the last one. But I don't think they're that much different. There we go. So minus 130. I think we're gonna have to go a little bit slower this time because memory is not having fun, I think. So let's see if we can get rid of these cold. So you can draw your name in there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my fingers are too big. Why don't you just use the CRC spray? Much easier than doing that.
I'll save it.
You gotta save it.
Yeah, you gotta save it.
You didn't get enough, did you?
And it's been marked. Does that mean anything to you, Joe?
2190 fail?
That's kind of how I was reading it. So without the BIOS, all three BIOSes run the same power limit stock. They're all 360 watts. And then there's an XOC BIOS you can apply that's unlimited. There's no power limit. So under the stock BIOSes, without any voltage changes, because you run into the power wall once you start changing the voltage, the clock seems to sit at about like 2160, 2190, which is what that says. And 2205, it can't sustain it. So I'm thinking this is good till about 2190 on air. Anyway, there's the Kingpin PCB before and after. If you wanted a comparison, that's what.
Does that come in the box or is that special?
No, that would be cool if it did. That would be really cool.
Well, he does it with the dartboards, right?
They do, yeah. But this is Vince or Tim gave this to me when we visited their lab.
Oh, I'm mad at it. I didn't get one.
That's a lot of thermal paste. Try it on there. So I'm just doing this because this was sitting on a spot on the table where there was a bit of liquid metal, and I'm just trying to make sure there's no liquid metal on the card that could cause something to short and kill it. But we are good to go now.
Did you waste it all?
No, there's a lot in there still.
You have a hairdryer or something?
No.
How can with all that hair, how do you not have a hairdryer?
It makes it poofy.
Makes it poofy. I think we have too much voltage. Yeah, I think I just didn't have a good mount yesterday. So I'm actually hitting what's called the retry button. So basically it's gonna try those same settings. This is for like to get past memory training. So like if it doesn't boot up once, let's try it again. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. Because actually if you do it a bunch of times, it actually might go through.
That's what Buildzoid was telling me once. He had me doing some testing for him, and I was like, how many times should I try these settings? And he said, how long do you want to stand there and push the retry button?
Yeah.
It worked. It did take like 15 retries, but it did work.
It still runs, but it just acts crazy. Like you'd be like, I don't know what to troubleshoot, and you pull it apart and there's a ton of water.
Right.
Yeah. So much condensation. The board is soaked. Let's see. Yeah, because you gotta be careful. You can't really, if you try to take the pot off when it's cold, it's frozen to solid.
Yeah.
You'll break stuff.
Right.
I've seen people where like, they try to take it, like, see the memory is so frozen. You try to take that out, and sometimes I've seen people actually rip out the whole
Like
piece.
the socket with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the last thing you want to do, especially on really good memory.
So all the water is gonna end up in the socket. Do you do anything about that? You like?
Oh, I'm gonna basically heat up the whole board. I just want to get the memory out.
You said you have a socket heater, or you want me to pull mine out?
No, I have one.
I'm just trying to help, Joe.
Oh, now he's trying to help. What about all those other times, Steve?
Well, I knew you would say you wouldn't need any help, so I figured I'd offer.
See. Look at that.
Oh,
Like a
CPU
glove.
is still in the socket. Nice. Oh yeah, there's a good amount of water.
This is what I call the hot box. Usually I put a hairdryer on it and let it go, and then come back in like 10 minutes and it's completely dry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we need more Vaseline. I think that's probably also killing us.
So for the Vas, you're just gonna spread it over everything except it does not go in any of the sockets, right?
Yeah, you don't want to put it in the socket.
You don't want to block the pin contact.
Well, you don't really have to worry about it too much in like PCIe. I mean, when it comes to memory, that's like the big no-no. Because for some reason with memory, it basically messes up the contact.
I guess another question too is, so the VRMs don't really have much active cooling other than whatever LN2 kind of steams over the side.
Well, these VRMs, like that's actually the big thing about this board, the new Crosshair versus the old one, is the VRM is way more, it's much more beefier and it runs cooler. Still, when you're doing liquid nitrogen stuff, especially since it's higher wattage than say like old 4 cores and stuff, you still want to have some type of cooling. But with liquid nitrogen and these VRMs, it's good enough to pretty much cool with just this. And here's a good rule.
Oh yeah.
Your torch, when your torch doesn't light, means there's no oxygen. So nitrogen will, if there's too much nitrogen, you won't have oxygen. So if you can't light your torch, then you know you need to get oxygen.
Right, get out of the room. Basically.
Get out of the room. That's the best way to tell because you're always using that.
Have you ever actually encountered that problem? Like, are you?
So in the Gigabyte OC lab, we had about like, I think 8 or 9 of these tanks. And it's a fairly small room. I mean, it was probably, I'd say, from that side to here. I don't know, it was
so like 20 feet or something.
About 20 feet, and it wasn't that big of a room, but all of a sudden, like all of us started feeling kind of weird, and none of us could light a torch.
Okay.
So it was kind of, you got to be very careful.
So what, did you guys just leave after that?
No, we ended up.
Stop?
No, we don't. You don't stop. We got to do. We do this for days, but we basically ended up just like opening up the door and then just getting ventilated.
Okay.
Basically to vent oxygen.
I mean, that should work just as well, yeah.
Yeah, it works.
The way it happens, as Buildzoid described it to me, is you feel dizzy and then you die. Like there's no in between. So just leave the room, I guess. See, this is a perfect example of why when I give Patrick a job and I say, will you do this? You're better at it than I am. This is why he's superior at things like cleaning up. I gave him this board.
Yeah, I would do that.
$1,800 board, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, make sure those pins don't get bent. We don't have a socket cover. And so he just made his own socket cover. I would have just left it open and then...
You're a genius.
Then half later I'd be unbending 4,000 pins.
You know how you could clean it really well?
What?
Give it to me.
So that's everything he gave me. I think that's got screws for RTX.
Yeah, it looks like a prototype.
He said it was the first one. Some of us have evolved and are capable of using tools. You see how awesome this is? Now I can just wheel it over there. I don't... Yeah, fuck you. God damn it.
I swear. Hold the tube!
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you can just hold it over here.
Okay.
Like right there. Obviously, you don't. Just wait till that initial pressure comes off.
You see that? Like tendrils coming down. Joe, do you want this?
It'd be kind of funny. Okay, we're gonna chicken clock it, as Ting calls it.
What did you say?
Chicken clock.
Chicken clock.
Yeah, it means I'm just gonna step it up a little bit.
Oh, you're just gonna like baby steps, like you're being scared.
Well, no, I just want to make.
Good.
I just want to make sure it's. I think it was better the other way.
So while Joe is doing more of that, I'm going to just start seeing if this is going to line up for the LN2 pot for the Kingpin card. And we're working on the medium mod mat, which you can find on store.gamersnexus.net. But so yeah, we've got 4 screws to mount that plate to the pot, and then the next question is, does it fit the card?
So this is gonna be raised. So whatever you do, see how it's.
Uh-huh.
That piece is thick. So you still have
okay.
a certain amount of distance in there. So when you're putting it on like this, it should be good.
Okay, all right, cool. So this'll, when it's done, it'll be like through here.
Yes.
Okay.
And then on the other side of this, because you got to figure the card's going to go on like that.
Yep.
And then you're connecting it to
Cap
here.
it. Okay, got it. I can handle that.
Yeah, but I don't like those little small ones. I usually have, do you have Roman's? Did Roman ever send you one?
No, he didn't send me anything.
I always use his. I have his, so I do a combination. It's the same thickness. No, well, the problem is trying to get a mount with 4 points, because you have to have that perfect flat against. And trying to do it, if you have 8 points, it gives you more room to like make sure it's more accurate.
Okay.
Because I was talking to him about it the other day. Like if you looked at my other pots, like my old KP ones, I have all 8-point mounts. And I actually modified it. I use a special plate to keep it close to each. And I would actually get better mounts that way.
Okay, gotcha.
So that way I wouldn't have to keep on taking it off, putting it on, taking it off.
Like that when we got here this morning in the parking lot, first thing Joe said was, I have my pot in my backpack. I was like, I'm glad there's no
My
sign.
LN2 pot.
There it is. Now it really looks like a gun. It's got like a magazine hops in the top or something. Okay, so we're all set up for the most part. This needs Vaseline still, but we've got the pot on there, and Joe's been working on getting the system back to life. But we do have multiple chips, and we will get it back. We're just trying to burn off the LN2 right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And then get it booted. So this is the prep process. It's gonna be all day.
So much fun.
All day of this, and by the time we get to the stream, we'll have it pretty dialed, and you'll just get to see the fun part. So check back. It will be at 1 p.m. EST. We'll put up some other times on the screen for other time zones. Alternatively, because some people forget that you can do this, you can check Google. So if you go to google.com, you can type in 1 p.m. EST to the time zone you are in. That would also work.
But is it daylight savings time?
God damn it. so
Just
anyway,
saying.
Check back Saturday. That's going to be, well, at the time this video goes up, it'll be less than 24 hours from the time this video goes live. So, and then the Kingpin card we'll be doing on Sunday. So they'll be done separately. That is going to be Ryzen 2700X with just like a 1050, and it's because we're only doing CPUs, probably Cinebench. And then this will be maybe Port Royal or something. We're not fully decided on it yet, but 2 separate streams, both at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday and Sunday. So thanks for watching. Check back soon. Subscribe for more as always. You can go to store.gamersnexus.net to support directly, and we'll link Bearded Hardware down below as well.
I have my site too,
That would be
beardedhardware.com.
beardedhardware.com. And we'll see you in the live stream.